big change reportedly coming to CBS. According to a report from Variety, Gayle King, host of CBS Mornings, may be leaving the show. King joined the network's morning programming back in 2011, when it was still called CBS This Morning, and stayed on as the main anchor of CBS Mornings when it was rebranded back in 2021. Her contract with the network is set to expire in May, and sources tell Variety she may step down from the show, though, according to a report by the New York Post, quote, a source familiar with the situation noted that nothing is set in stone and King hasn't yet made plans regarding her career after that point.
The Post reports an insider told them that King has very different politics from the new editor-in-chief, Bari Weiss, who has appeared to undertake an overhaul of the CBS News division since she started at the beginning of the month. Under Weiss, the network has reportedly made extensive budget cuts, canceled 2 streaming shows, and made around 100 layoffs, including at least 8 on-air correspondents and hosts. CBS Evening News co-anchor John Dickerson has also announced he would leave the network earlier this week.
As for King, Variety magazine reports that it is still possible that she remains with the broadcaster to produce her own program. CBS indicated that they would like to keep her at the network, with a spokesperson telling Variety, quote, she's a truly valued part of CBS and we look forward to engaging with her about the future.
So there was a statement from a spokesperson who said that no decisions have been made regarding what Gayle King was going to do regarding the end of her contract in May 2026, and that there haven't even been official conversations about it. So if she is leaving, it could be that it's on her own accord. Maybe she just doesn't like the future of CBS under Bari Weiss and she doesn't want to be involved anymore, or maybe she's angling for some kind of new program. Who knows? But obviously there has been a lot of change at CBS since Bari Weiss took over, cutting a lot of positions. Earlier this week, there was a report where insiders at CBS described some of the layoffs as a quote-unquote bloodbath. Coincidentally, also what Trump said about the auto industry ahead of the election, of what would happen if Kamala Harris won the election. But also getting rid of, apparently they had like a diversity reporter department. She got rid of that. And then John Dickerson leaving as well, who was someone who tried not to burst into tears after Trump was reelected when he appeared on a late night show. So probably not too much of a anything to cry about for most people, him leaving the network. But look, CBS's ratings have been declining for years. People have really low trust in media right now. I think to continue on the same trajectory would be insane. Bari Weiss, I think, is trying to really shake things up to make this a more competitive news outlet. And people aren't going to agree with every move that she makes, but would like to give her some latitude to try to get this back to a place where people can watch CBS and feel like they're watching something that is a little more objective and unbiased and actually presents both sides of the political aisle.
Yeah, I think, well, we know that Bari Weiss is frustrated from several reports about how many people are leaking news exactly as it happens. So when you say that Gayle King has not made any final decisions, that's it seems like an accurate thing because it's abruptly happening and abruptly in the news. It almost seems like the same day, the same way we know who they're auditioning or interviewing or who they're reaching out to. And Brett Baer had to come out and say, hey, wait a second. I think it's important to note about Gayle King's significance at CBS. I mean, the network wasn't doing well, and I was at NBC at the time. It was behind NBC and ABC when they brought her on to CBS to kind of revamp the morning show. And she was a central figure in that entire movement. And what I think that she did to the program is bring ratings dramatically up. And she really did help them change and make the new iteration of that morning show and actually get people to actually watch it, because Good Morning America and Today Show have always been the big two in the game, and CBS This Morning was a distant third. Mm-hmm. So what Gayle King did is bring them up to par with those, just to even be recognized, where people are constantly pulling from those. They're becoming viral moments. It's a big deal. What I also know is that when Charlie Rose left after the entire Me Too scandal, that brought the ratings back down for them. So it was an unfortunate event for everybody, but that wasn't any part of Gayle King. She came in and did her job and also did a hard work for the network and had some major interviews that have sat in the ethos of what we discussed for decades, including that first and exclusive interview with R. Kelly, and just many people that really showed you what a type of journalist she is. She's using her connections and closeness to proximity of celebrities, but also when she calls in the task and asks questions, she asks tough ones, and it doesn't matter how you think she should know them, what her relationship should be, she's still grilling people and doing the job of a journalist. So I think, it's tough to watch this woman be rewarded in this way, who did so much for the last decade or more for CBS to kind of bring it back. It wasn't surely her fault that the ratings were falling. They did a lot on the show, brought in a lot of new hosts in the morning. And so if this is the case and the report that Variety is putting out is true, I hope it's to really do something that she likes. I don't think that she necessarily has to stay on CBS This Mornings, right? But I hope that they would really make space for her, and that the statement coming out of CBS would be to make it even more firm that, yes, of course we want her to stay. If she doesn't want to stay, that would be wholly on her. And I've seen networks make statements like that for other people that were deciding to leave, or the decision was wholly their own, because they adore and love them so much, and they repay them for all they've done to bring up the network and all they've given. Because Gayle King has a lot of jobs, right? She doesn't have to work there. She's the head of Oprah Magazine, of, I think, content there. She also has a serious radio show. So it's not that I feel bad that she's going to have some suffering in any way. She's an esteemed journalist who probably can get multiple jobs. But I think just CBS paying her back in this way it's unfortunate to me. I also know that even though a lot of people get laid off, Gayle King is one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name over there at the network. And a lot of times, from my perspective and purview in this industry, when there are massive layoffs or big changes, Black women are at the forefront of that before looking at the rest of the country. The rest of the company. So when we talk about NBC, we saw Ann Curry be let go. And she was an esteemed journalist who gave like 20 plus years of her career to NBC, and they kind of pulled the rug and didn't give her a proper goodbye from my purview. We saw Tamron Hall get replaced also at NBC, and then go on to beat the odds and start her own talk show. But still, the way she left, it was very obvious was not ideal for her, even though she gave more than a decade or 2 decades to the network, from local news to big things. We saw Joy Reid, the same thing, kind of like the rating. They're saying the ratings were way down, but she still got the rug pulled. Even the show right after her, Rachel Maddow, was like, I don't understand why we started with Joy Reid. Like, we can go down the ratings list of all the different people we could have started with that maybe the ratings were lower, but they just started with Joy Reid. And so my point there is that we don't always have to start with the Black woman. She was doing a great job, and we need to make sure that we're honoring people that have given so much to the network. Like Joy Reid has done a lot for NBC, from working with the Griot to the Weekend Show to Down, and then you start with her like, oh, let's pull the plug right here. Let's start here to make cuts.
Well, she was also toxic for the brand. We'll disagree on that. Look, we still don't know who was initiating these conversations about Gayle King, right? Like, she could have gone to them and said, I'm planning on leaving at the end of my contract, and they don't want that to be public yet, so why would they put out a statement begging her to stay if she's already informed them of her intentions to leave, right? Like, we don't know the direction that this is going right now, so I don't want to speculate too much on, reading into CBS's statement or the things that have been leaked to the press until we know more about exactly how those conversations have gone. CBS also is apparently trying to poach Scott Jennings from CNN.
I saw that, yeah.
Which would be actually brilliant, because he has single-handedly, I think, lifted the ratings of their primetime shows by doing that roundtable panel with Abby Phillips, right? Like, he is one of the most aggressive conservative voices on any mainstream media news show besides Fox News, and it has caused people to tune in because they get to see like real substantive debates happening on a nightly basis, when previously you would see a CNN panel that had 10 people on it and there was one Republican, but it was like a Republican who hated Trump or had left the party, right? Like, it wasn't a real conservative voice. So poaching him would be brilliant. Also, if they bring back Catherine Herridge and give her a show, I think that would be amazing.
I hear and respect that. I think Scott Jennings does a great job holding his own at the table. I think it's important to hear wide-ranging voices, and I like what CNN has done with Abby Phillips. I just really want to reiterate that when somebody has given that much to a brand to help it grow to the place that it is, even though it's having a dip or a low moment, they shouldn't be the first person where you start with the axe. And while I welcome new voices, I think we've got to look around the whole company. And you're right, she's not the only person that got let go. It's possible there are a lot of other people, but she is the flagship person, in the same way that Robin Roberts is the face of Good Morning America, is the same way that she is. And I just think they need to make sure that they treat her the same way she's treated the company by staying for 12 years.
Well, she'll be there at least till her contract runs out in the spring, so we'll see what happens.
Americans will be setting their clocks back, oh no, an hour this weekend. And not everyone, including me, is happy about it. Coming up, why lawmakers continue to toy with the idea of making daylight saving time permanent.